My partner prioritized her crew over me, and when the crew disbanded, she wanted me back. I thought a relationship was meant for two, but mine always felt crowded with extras. At 27, I'd been with my girlfriend, Emily, 25, for almost 2 years, believing we shared something unique. We moved in together 6 months ago, splitting expenses and chores fairly, working to build a future. But with her tight-knit group, Sophie, Julian, Claire, and Theo, always around, I started feeling like just another contact in her group chat. The final blow came when Emily, for the umpteenth time, chose her friends over our relationship. I'm exhausted. I don't even know where to start with this chaos. Emily and I had something special, or so I thought. We've been together nearly 2 years, moved in together, and shared everything equally. But lately, it feels like I'm in a relationship with her entire friend group, not just her. Emily's crew, Sophie, Julian, Claire, and Theo, call themselves the posse unironically. They're inseparable, with constant group chats and coordinated outfits for events like Halloween. Initially, I admired her close friendships. Now, I'm questioning if I'm even in a relationship or just covering half the rent. The breaking point hit last weekend. Our 2-year anniversary was coming up, and I'd planned a special evening. Dinner at the restaurant where we had our first date and tickets to see her favorite band. Nothing extravagant, just meaningful. I found her in the living room, scrolling through her friends' Instagram stories. "Hey, I've got something planned for our anniversary next Saturday," I said, sitting beside her. She glanced up from her phone, her face dropping as if I'd delivered bad news. "Oh," she said, setting her phone down slowly. "That's the same night as Claire's birthday warm-up. I can't miss that." My heart sank, but I kept my cool. "Could you ask them to move it to Friday or Sunday?" I suggested. She was already shaking her head. "No, you don't get it. Claire planned it for Saturday because it's the only night everyone's free. Julian's got a work conference starting Sunday, Sophie's stressed from her new job and needs this, and Theo just ended things with his girlfriend, so he needs us too." Her passion grew as she spoke, like she was defending a sacred cause. "We need this night, Ethan," she said. "The group hasn't hung out properly in weeks." I countered, "But it's our anniversary, it's once a year. You can see your friends any other time." Her demeanor shifted. She crossed her arms, giving me a look that screamed I was being unreasonable. "Love can wait, Ethan. Friendship can't. They were here before you, and they'll be here after." Her words hit like a punch. "They'll be here after. Not if we break up," but a casual certainty, as if our end was already penciled in between their next group trip and Sophie's birthday bash. Despite everything we'd built, I felt like a temporary fixture, reshuffled around their brunch plans. This wasn't the first time. She skipped my master's graduation party for Julian's housewarming, my brother's wedding. She was too tired from a 3-day posse hangout to be my plus one. When my mom was in the hospital for surgery, Emily couldn't visit because it clashed with their weekly game night. Yet, she expects me to drop everything for her. Last month, she called at 2 a.m. to pick her up from a bar across town because Theo was too drunk to drive. When I got there, she barely acknowledged me, snapping selfies with the group while I stood there like a chauffeur, then spent the ride home dissecting Sophie's bar drama. Worse, she talks about our relationship with them. I overheard her on the phone with Claire, saying I'm in a jealous phase and need to share her time better, like I'm a clingy kid, not a partner who just wants to feel valued. I've tried discussing balance, how relationships need effort. She promises to improve, but then makes plans that exclude me. When I point out the pattern, she accuses me of trying to isolate her from her friends. There's no winning. I'm writing this from a cafe because I couldn't stand being in our apartment. I spent the morning browsing rentals online and found a 1-bedroom 20 minutes away I can afford solo. The lease application's in my email drafts. I love her, but I can't keep being sixth in line in my own relationship. My friends suggest an ultimatum, but I'm done begging for attention. Is it too much to expect my girlfriend to act like one sometimes? Edit. Your responses have been eye-opening. To those asking why I haven't ended it, you're right. I kept hoping she'd see what she was doing, but her priorities are clear. I'm submitting the lease application tonight. Update 1. This post got way more attention than I expected. Thank you for the support and advice. I wish I could say we worked it out, but here's what happened. I submitted the rental application that day and got approved in 48 hours. felt like a sign. I spent the next week moving my stuff out while Emily was with the posse, which was easy since they were out almost daily. By the time she noticed, I'd moved 80% of my things. She came home at midnight Thursday, after some new bar Theo wanted to check out, and saw my gaming setup was gone. "Ethan, what the hell? Where's your stuff?" she shouted, checking rooms. She found me in the bedroom, packing my last clothes. "Are you moving out?" Her voice broke. I handed her a letter I'd written, explaining I needed a partner who prioritized our relationship, not someone who treated me like an afterthought. She read it fast, then slower, eyes wide. "You're leaving me because I have friends, because I won't ditch people who have been there for years," she said. I sat on the bed, exhausted. "Emily, it's not about you having friends. It's about me not mattering to you." She waved the letter. "This says you want me to choose between you and everyone I care about. I want you to care about me too," I said. "I want our relationship to matter." She looked at me like I was absurd. "Of course you matter, but I can't abandon my friends every time you want attention." I explained why our anniversary mattered, but she threw her hands up. "You're throwing away 2 years because you can't handle me having a life. You knew who I was when we started dating." I looked at her and realized she didn't get it. To her, I was the problem. "I thought you wanted to build something with me," I said, zipping my bag. "I do, but not if it means cutting everyone else out," she replied. I wasn't asking her to cut them off just to make room for me. She saw it as control. I saw it as basic relationship care. We argued in circles for 20 minutes. I raised my hands. "I'm done, Emily. Done arguing, done with us." Her posture shifted, like she realized this wasn't just a fight. Then it got weird. She followed me around the apartment, listing our shared memories, but every other sentence mentioned her friends. "Remember when we ran into Sophie and Julian at that concert? Or when we cooked for the posse?" It was like she couldn't recall moments just about us. I told her I'd grab the rest of my stuff over the weekend during Claire's pool party, because, of course, there was one. I left my key on the counter and walked out, but leaving wasn't enough. Saturday morning, at my new place, my phone blew up. Emily called nonstop, sending long texts about talking like adults. When I didn't reply, her friends started messaging. Sophie sent a novel about Emily's heartbreak and how I was breaking the family. Theo called me immature for leaving without working it out. Julian suggested we all meet to talk. Even Claire, who I barely spoke to, said I was making a mistake. The messages got nastier. "You'll regret this. Emily deserves better." By Sunday, they called me emotionally abusive for leaving without notice, despite my letter. Then Monday night, I came home to find all 5 outside my new building. Emily stood in front, the posse behind her like a task force. She started shouting, "We need to settle this now. You don't get to ghost everyone." I said there was nothing to settle. I'd made my choice clear. Theo stepped forward. "You're hurting her, man. You're hurting all of us." I was baffled, hurting them. By dating Emily, I'd somehow joined their family, and leaving her meant abandoning them. It was the most codependent thing I'd heard. Emily was crying, Julian tried mediating, Claire was filming, God knows why. I gave them 30 seconds to leave before I called security. They didn't, so I went inside and called. Security made them leave, but Emily shouted, "This isn't over." That was 3 weeks ago. The calls have stopped, but I still get texts from random numbers, likely their friends' phones. I doubt they'll show up again, building management's on alert. I don't regret leaving, but I'm stunned at how unhinged it got. Who brings their entire friend group to confront their ex? What kind of adult behavior is that? Update 2. I didn't expect to post again, but life's got a sense of humor. I'm doing great, new apartment's awesome, work's fulfilling, and I'm reconnecting with friends I neglected during the Emily era. Turns out, when you're not playing designated driver for someone else's crew, you have time for your own life. The real drama's with Emily and her posse. My friend Marcus works with Julian and spilled the tea. Julian and his fiancée, Lena, got engaged 2 weeks ago. Lena thinks the posse's dynamic is childish and pushed Julian to set boundaries. He's skipping hangouts, barely responds in their group chat, and focuses on Lena. Sound familiar? Emily reportedly flipped when Julian bilayed on their annual beach house trip for Lena's family visit, saying, "You're pulling an Ethan." It gets better. Sophie got a promotion requiring a move to Seattle. She's tried planning virtual hangouts, but Emily's been cold, saying real friends don't ditch the group for a job. Sophie's hurt by the reaction to her good news. Then there's Claire and Theo. They've had a secret on and off thing for years, but now they're serious, wanting to date openly. Emily's freaking out because it shifts the group dynamic, and she's worried about a potential breakup. So when I wanted to be prioritized, I was controlling. But when Emily feels sidelined, it's a crisis, and everyone's abandoning her. Per Lena, via Marcus, Emily's telling everyone they're pulling an Ethan, like growing up and prioritizing relationships is a betrayal I started. No one's taking her seriously anymore. Meanwhile, I'm thriving. I went to a concert with old college buddies last weekend. No group coordination, no Instagram overload, no drama. I've started seeing someone new, Nora. It's casual, but she's great. She has friends but understands relationships need one-on-one time. We had dinner Friday, just us, and she didn't touch her phone. It felt revolutionary. Then, 3 days ago, Emily texted, "Hey, I know things ended rough, but I've been thinking. Can we get coffee? I think we both said things we didn't mean." I stared at my phone, blindsided. Yesterday, another text. "I messed up. I was young, didn't know how to balance things. I've grown, and I think we could try again if you're open." I showed Marcus, who laughed. Emily heard I'm doing well, seeing someone new, and looking happy. Marcus thinks she's realizing a steady partner wasn't so bad, especially as her posse crumbles. Where was this growth when I begged her to hear me for 2 years? I'm not responding. I don't owe her coffee or a chance to explain. I spent 2 years trying to get her to see what I needed, and she brushed it off. I'm not her backup plan now that her social circle's shifting. Edit. Some asked if I think she's changed or if this is just convenience. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Even if she's learned something, I've moved on. I'm building something with someone who gets what a relationship is. Why go backward? Final update. This is likely my last post on this. Emily's texts continued for a week after my last update, not aggressive, just fishing for the right words to get a reply. Highlights. I get what you meant about balance now. The group's not the same. I think I used them to avoid real intimacy. I miss talking to you, not even about getting back together, just talking. That last one almost got me. We had great talks early on. But good talks don't make a good relationship, and I stayed silent. Last Tuesday, Nora and I were at an Italian restaurant downtown when I spotted Emily, Theo, and Claire at a corner table. Julian and Sophie were absent. Julian was at a couples event with Lena, and Sophie's settling into Seattle. Emily saw me before I could suggest leaving. Our eyes locked, and I could tell she was debating coming over. Nora noticed me tense and asked if I was okay. I explained briefly. She knew about Emily's texts, but not the full saga. Emily didn't make a scene. She gave a small wave, then seemed to dive into a heated talk with Theo and Claire. I thought that was it. But as Nora and I left, Emily approached near the exit. "Ethan, I don't want to ruin your night, but can I talk to you for a sec?" Nora squeezed my hand and said she'd wait by the car, classiest response ever. Emily looked worn, maybe tired, maybe just older. She spoke fast, like she'd rehearsed. "I know you haven't answered my texts, and I get why. You were right about everything, balance, priorities, what a relationship should be. I see Julian with Lena, how they support each other, and I know I never did that for you." I told her I appreciated the words, but it changed nothing. "I'm not asking for another chance," she said. "I just needed you to know I get it now. I'm sorry, truly, for how I treated you and how I acted when you left." She glanced at Nora and smiled sadly. "She seems great. I hope she values you." That was it. She went back to her table. I joined Nora, who asked if I was okay. I was. Per Marcus, via Lena, the posse's basically done. Julian's all in with Lena, barely talking to the group. Sophie's thriving in Seattle with new friends. Claire and Theo are dating, but want distance from the old dynamic. Emily's trying to hold the group together with events and nostalgic texts, but you can't force people to stay in a dynamic they've outgrown. She's learning what I tried to tell her. Relationships need mutual effort and understanding. When people feel they can't grow, they leave. Nora and I are doing well. She met my friends last weekend, and it was easy, no competition, just adults connecting. She suggested a weekend trip next month, just us, and it feels normal, not selfish. That's the difference between healthy and unhealthy patterns. I don't wish Emily ill. I hope she learns to build relationships without sacrificing others. But I'm glad I walked away when I did. Sometimes, The best thing you can do is refuse to be an afterthought. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.